I'll Hello everyone and welcome to Tristonia. The game is SimCity 4 and the city is Tristonia. I'm Ribbert, this is gonna be one of my builds and it's a big one. I think it's a pretty big one. I'm starting off here. I was just inspecting the city for a bit. And I'm just jumping straight into the time-lapse. And it took me 3 sessions to build this. Building sessions. I started off with the rails. The idea I had was to have one rail going off to the left and one going up the mountain. And yeah, that was as bad an idea as it sounds. And here I'm looking for the way to do the more smooth bend. And I think at some point I do figure it out. Because there is a way. Yeah, that's the way. So what you do is you make a very short diagonal first from the straight bit. And then you just misalign the next diagonal you drag, and then it takes some practice. You can check out the network add-on mod manual if you want to know how to do that, or just try it yourself. I mean, you've seen maybe the basics of how to do it. And here I'm trying to use 2 of those bends together, and I figured out that I might just need a bit more space over there, because else, it looks like I still need some. No, okay, yeah, it should work there. Alright, so I started off with the rails, because I think that the rails are most derped by the terrain, and I kinda wanted to know how I was gonna be able to fit them and stuff like that. So I decided to start off with the rail system and then see where the rest goes. As a result of that, the idea that I talked about last time of doing a very, or not very, but a relatively structured grid kind of thing, pretty much went out of the window as soon as I started placing down rails. And so here I decided to transition into a viaduct, and at first I didn't know you could put viaducts on slopes, and later on I do know that, so it might be unrealistic, especially because I do the ramp on a slope. I did know you could do the flat bits on slopes, but I didn't know about the ramps. And here I'm just trying out different things to transition back into a non-viaduct. I think in the end I just do a straight transition. So at some point I'll be looking to I'm using these Patmo pieces everywhere. I'll talk about that a bit too. And at some point I'll be looking to just add a bunch of rural little stations everywhere to have people that live higher up in the mountain still be able to relatively easily get down to the downtown stuff, I guess. It's not really a classical city, this is. I think a lot of the city design got a bit dirt by the weird ideas that I had. Yeah, and over there I noticed that it could be placed on a slope. So I cheated a little bit by putting it on a slope, giving me a bit of extra height. which is kind of weird, because you might as well just increase how steep it can go in the slope parameter stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I was getting a bit desperate about that mountain, and later on I decided that it was just not worth it to go all the way up the mountain just to make another neighbor connection over there. But I might, I won't show that. The thing is, I'll talk about that in a little bit. But at some point I derped out the recording. At one point I had a crash. The game crashed on me, so I stopped the recording, I thought. But I didn't stop the recording. So when I started the recording to try again, I stopped the recording. So what happened was, I recorded for 2 hours and, it wasn't 2 hours, it was maybe 1.5 or something like that. But I recorded for a bit and it all was lost because, I derped out the recording, and as a consequence of that, I started the recording when I thought I stopped it, and so that was at the end of the second session, which meant that I recorded because I didn't shut off my computer when I went to bed, so it just recorded 8 hours of stupid stuff. Not stupid stuff, just random. Just a bunch of YouTube videos that I watched, and then then I just went to bed, so you just see the desktop for a bit, and then it goes to the screensaver. I'm not sure if it recorded the screensaver. Alright, so over here I'm making some more random little neighborhoods, and so the whole plan of doing like a very structured thing is very hard around the rails, because the rails, at least the way I put them down, and when you're going up slopes you kind of have to do a bunch of meandering crap or stuff. I'm sorry if crap is offensive to you, I don't know if is that even a thing? I guess, I don't know. A bunch of meandering stuff you need in order to get up a cliff, so that makes the whole leftover shapes in between the rails, it's semi-random, because of course you do have like choices and options in terms of how you place everything down, but it was a bit tricky. I also installed a bunch of new buildings in between the sessions of building this. So at first I just went in with the original pack of buildings, and then for the second one I just did some research for the second session that you won't see, of course, because it got derped by me not knowing how the record button works. Of course I did know how it works, I'm trying to be funny. So for the second session I also didn't really install new buildings, but I did look up what kind of 8x8 stuff and whatever I have, and maybe I installed some more 8x8 buildings. I think I did actually, but I'm not sure. I'm kind of sure I did actually. So I did also install some stuff for the second build that you can't see. And for the third build, I installed some other stuff because, I guess I'm just a bit of a Matt B325 fanboy at this point. So I just looked at this page, and I knew that I wanted some custom residential stuff, because so far all the not residential, I mean commercial. I wanted some custom commercial stuff, because all the commercial you've seen so far in the city has been just vanilla. And there's some people out there who like are a bit purist about a game like this and want I don't know, I don't really understand it, because yeah, I think the vanilla game, I mean, in terms of not cheating in a game like this, sure, vanilla is better, because yeah, it's a better challenge or whatever. If that's the reason why you play this game, then sure, go vanilla. But if you're playing this just to make beautiful cities, then I'm pretty sure vanilla is never gonna keep up with a bunch of good mods, because even just the terrain, it looks a bit boring at this point, but at some point I'm gonna do some terraforming, and this terrain kit, or I can't remember the correct name for the kits. I think maybe it's a terrain mod, I guess, but it has a whole bunch of different grassy textures for different angles of the terrain and stuff like that. So at some point I'm gonna start doing some smoothing out of some cliffs around here, and I started to notice how many different textures there are, and I just started to play around with that a little bit. Over here I'm trying to have a little bit of a fancy neighborhood around there. I'm not sure if a road next to a cliff like that would make sense. I suppose there would be some sort of a guardrail in a not insane city, but I guess this city is a little bit insane at this point. I might install something there, some guardrails or whatever. And yeah, here I'm just flattening out a bit of land again. Oh yeah, I had the idea of making a bit of a plateau there. I don't know why I did it like that, but yeah, I think so what I did with the real highway slope mod, when you download it, it comes with a max slope change parameter setting of 40, which means that it can still be very ugly, and I changed it to 4, not too high, not too low. I think the network add-on mod setting for the real railway, the rails, is at 1 or 2, which is very smooth. I don't think you really need that smoothness. You can set it to 5 or 6 or whatever you like, just play around with it. Yeah, it's pretty easy to do. You just need the reader tool, a SimCity 4 reader. Then you open up the dot file, I think it is just a file for the slope mod, and then you look at the values in the exemplar. I would also recommend that you'd change the, oh yeah, here I was derping out with some, I don't know, they weren't flattening out the terrain for some reason. It's having a bit of trouble, but then I thought, why would I do that? I can just do this. And here you can already see some of those crazy textures coming, well, crazy, those cool textures, they are cool textures. And here I wanted to do a bit of a viaduct. I'm just doing the classical, maybe a bit boring kind of viaduct for now. There's a new viaduct that I maybe could have used, but it's only for 7.5 meters, and it's, I don't know, maybe I'm doing it wrong, but it looked so much easier to use when I saw that video of the network add-on mod developer, and then I tried using it, and for some reason it didn't work. Maybe it's just a bug in this version of the network add-on mod, and I need to install the 41. I do know that they said in the patch notes, because network add-on mod 41 just came out, and yeah, so I haven't installed it yet, because I don't really think it's that important to keep up with the latest version of the network add-on mod. I try to at least be close to the latest version, but sometimes when there's like things with updates like that, I think it's a bit better to not always jump in ahead and to just let well, I guess the network add-on mod, it has some pretty thorough testing. Alright, so what happened is I messed up. I recorded the first part that you've just seen, and then I recorded the second part where I built this real stuff and probably all of this. I can't super clearly remember, but I also set this to play. This looks super cool with the two of them. Wait. Did I not install this correctly still? I'm just gonna delete it and see if it regrows better, because I forgot to install the dependencies of that, but I think I should have it now. Oh, it's actually regrowing again too. It's weird how that really wants to be there. And okay, yeah, so this is what it's supposed to look like. So it has a 22.5 degrees, 45 degrees, so you need 3 dependencies, because they used to just be single lots, and then I downloaded the mega lot version that looks like this. I guess they have hedges all around, that's pretty cool. Yeah, pretty nice one. Again, by Met32B, 325, Met B 325. Yeah. Well, you can find his stuff. I'm hovering over it. I'll put it in linkies in the descriptions, but I'm hovering over it so you can know what to look for. This is the Viantico condos, which is also very cool. Well, this one we already had. This one we also had, but this is the first time I've shown the 8x8s. So, yeah, pretty cool. This is another one of Met 32.5, or whatever, of Met buildings. I'll show them at night, I guess. Pretty cool one, it's a commercial one. I downloaded a bunch of commercial buildings of him, because I thought, I just think his nightlight stuff looks very cool, and I kind of want to see a lot of that in my city. But it hasn't really grown anywhere else yet. I think I'll just pause for now. Yeah, so there's these, but I've shown those off in previous videos. So I'm sorry if I'm going over those a bit fast. I hope this scrolling isn't too nauseating for anybody. I think it's fine. And here's the single one of this. It's kind of cool to have that over there. Like, it's a big project, and then this is just a bunch of stubborn people who don't want to sell their homes. You have those in real life. Alright, so let's show them at night, and I'm gonna talk about what the plan is for this area, and I think what I'll do is do one more time lapse with me filling in this area and starting off with this. And because we see so much forest around here, I kind of want to preserve the foresty look, so this is gonna be a lot more sparse, and I think I won't do giant skyscrapers around there. So this area is gonna be tall buildings, maybe not 8 by 8s, but I'll see how steep the cliffs are and all that kind of stuff. And maybe over here I'll do some industrial, but I don't know how much industrial I need with the quadrupler mod, so I'll see about that. I do want to put down a bunch more commercial because of the new buildings I've installed. I kind of want to maybe just do a big block of commercial or something like that, so that they increase each other's ability to develop further. I don't know. Commercial is very now and then right now. It's just a little slither that goes through the city. It goes around here, and then there's some commercial around here. But it's all not very high wealth stuff, I think. I don't know actually. Okay, it's high wealth stuff, but it's not super high density stuff. And the reason for that, I think, is that I don't have that much commercial in my region at all. So I don't really unlock the higher growth stages for that yet. I've talked about that a bit in previous videos. I don't really want to do a whole monologue about how growth stages work. There's Google. You can Google those kind of things if you are looking to know. Alright, let me just zoom in here. Yeah, so this one's new for me, so I'll zoom in on that one first. Even at this close, it still looks very cool. Very high definition graphics here. Of course, you can see a bunch of pixelation, and these parking lots, they are really bright. They look like some of those streamer people who don't want to show their zits. They just change the color settings and then they look super white. So over here we have this, it's a bit of a complex. I suppose it might look best if you have a bunch of them. I do know that the 10 by 10 looks even cooler than this, but it's a 10 by 10, so it's kind of hard to find a good spot for that. I think I'm still missing dependencies because there's a lot of extra stuff here. So let's not judge this by the way it looks now. And I think that might then be the case for all of these, so I'm gonna have to see if I'm missing like props and stuff like that. Because I think I am. And then here we have, let's zoom out for this one. There are 3 towers. I've only shown it from this angle so far. So let's just rotate for a bit. And yeah, I think they are quite handsome. I suppose that this architect chose to use a different type of glass, which causes all the lights to show through at a bit more of an orangey kind of color. I think that can be a thing. I'm not sure if you actually see that kind of stuff in real life, but I don't know. It's fine. Don't think about it too much. So that's these buildings. This one's a bunch cooler than this one. Let's see which has the highest capacity. Okay, that's 4,000. Let's see. I must have. Oh yeah. Let's look at the graph. So it looks pretty calm now, but oh yeah. Yeah, okay, this is the jump from what we've built this episode. So that's a 40%. Nah, it's not 40%. It's like a 20 or 30% increase in population. Alright, let's go over some other buildings. I've shown those. I think I've shown these as well. I do like the colors that they have in the bottom floors. I guess it's a bit of yeah, it looks like it's colored glass actually. And even the basements or the souterrains, they have special coloring. The slanted roofs really help put it in a neighborly region, and they have these fancy little terraces. Yeah, pretty cool. So I suppose these are like the top half is one home with access to the terraces, and yeah, I don't know, this might be a bunch of homes though. There's these little balconies, the roof terraces, but these are really big, so these must be more fancy. Although you might also see this as like a complex of homes for the elderly maybe. Though I don't think those would have... they might have balconies, I don't know. It's a cool building regardless. You don't have to use my interpretation. And here we have Nikov Industries. It's the only one that I've managed to grow of the new buildings I've installed. Of the new commercial ones I've installed at least. And it's a cool one. It looks like a bit of a headquarters, so it would maybe make more sense in a very downtown kind of area, but I was kind of imagining tall skyscrapers around here and around here, and then maybe some other stuff around here, I don't know. But alas, we get what we get, and we don't always get what we want. What I might do around here is do some small shops and stuff, maybe some incremental beach areas, maybe a beach area around here, and then some foliage stuff, I don't know. That's yeah, I'm gonna have to do a pretty thorough decoration, because there's a whole lot of stuff that still needs decorating, and I've just been putting it off because I think you guys like to see a big build more than a bunch of trees. But if I'm mistaken in that and you don't really care, let me know in the comments. But if you don't want to let me know, that's also fine. Yeah, so what do I want to do here? Industry, maybe commercial. And I'm gonna turn on the grid. Yeah, I should transition from random stuff. What's going on here? Okay, I should probably terraform that a bit or whatever. I should transition from doing this random stuff into a more structured thing, because that's what I wanted to do, and it would be nice to actually see what it looks like in the end. So what I'm gonna do here, it would be a shame to just make a big giant cliff here, I guess. Yeah, what I'm gonna do here is, this is absolutely flat. Oh. It looks like it's pretty close to absolutely flat. Do I like this random slope in the middle of my city? Not really. But how do I want to deal with it? Because I could build some part to this level and have some industry around the rails, so they can use the rails for stuff, and then have a bit of a road here. That leaves me not a lot of space for any commercial kind of stuff on the other side. Yeah, I think what I'll do is just get the height of the thingy. Okay, apparently. Why would that change things? I have no idea. Okay. But let's say this is a good height. I don't know if it is. Let's keep a gap of 2 for a height transition kind of thingy. And maybe use a highway. Oh wait, that changes that one. Yeah, I'm still not really awake. But it's fine. I kind of wanted to make that smooth, but I think I'll just do that by hand. That's the wrong one. I wanted to use these. So why it doesn't ask you that with the streets is because you can't make a neighbor connection with streets. Yeah, I'll just do some of this and see how that like transitions into the rails, but I don't really mind having some industry with a little bit of a height difference of the rails, I suppose. I don't know. Maybe it won't be too bad. Do a bit of nature around here, a bit of foliage stuff. I don't know. And I do have to kind of think about how I'm even gonna connect this stuff. I do think I want to connect over here, maybe like that. I'm gonna use some petals. Oh wait, I guess I should just start the time-lapse now. Yeah, time-lapse time. See you in a bit. Alright, so as non-time-lapsed me said, and I guess previous time-lapse me also said, yeah, I derped out the saving. I think it's been explained plenty now. Over here, I'm just trying to find a cool way of doing this bit, so I decided to do a double zigzag, but then it's gonna be a bit hard to connect it over there, and it looks weird to just end it like that. Although there is real life stuff that just ends like that and just splits up into like 2 streets or whatever, but I didn't think of that. Here I'm trying to use the new viaducts, but I guess a road viaduct has trouble going over a road when it's directly next to it with the slope. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I don't think I was doing something wrong. I think maybe it's just a bug in this version. Yeah, it just didn't want to do a little bit of a road tunnel. It does do the rail tunnel, it doesn't do the street tunnel, and I wasn't really about to try every type of tunnel there was, so I just decided against using a viaduct. I don't know, it's a bit sad, because I thought it would look cool there to have a little bit of a little viaduct over there, but, didn't want to do that. So I end up using some real highway stuff to make a slope there, and I decided I didn't want to have industry on the slope, so just removed a bit of industry, a little sliver of industry. It's gonna grow fine, even though it seems like it's not connected. Industry is able to connect through other industries. Yeah, over there I made a 6x6, I think, because that's a size of lots that I use. And I decided to just do a 4x4 there, And then maybe do some decorations around there, a bunch of parks, 2 bits with the bench and the playground, why not? And yeah, this whole area still looks super cliffy, and having a cliffy area in itself isn't a bad thing, but these cliffs all look super unnatural. So yeah, during this time lapse I'm gonna show how to deal with that, or how I decided to deal with that, because it's not like my methods are the perfect ones or whatever. There's I guess there's different ways of dealing with it, but I think I had a very nice way of dealing with it. Yeah, another thing that's new in the network add-on mod 41, at least as I read it on Reddit, that's yeah, that sounds weird. Yeah, I read on Reddit because they posted the patch notes there, that they added or changed or updated the transitions from I'm not sure if they did all of them, but from street add-on mod stuff into roads and stuff. So I'm kinda eager to go and check that out, but I'll have to wait and see. Well, I don't have to wait and see, but I'm kind of choosing to not jump into that now. I should just download and install it, but I don't really feel like fiddling around with my files right now. I don't know, I've got a couple other things going, so I don't want to spend too much time on SimCity at the moment. I'm not just keeping the channel alive. I do like the builds that I make still, and I do like the process of thinking of new things to build. I maybe am a bit disappointed at how this city turned out. Maybe it looked a lot cooler in my mind or something like that, I don't know. I had an idea and it didn't really pan out as well as I hoped, because the mountain was just so much steeper than I thought it was gonna be. I think, I don't know. I think it's still a pretty cool city though. And yeah, there's some pretty nice ideas mixed into the city of how to like do meandering roads and how to do beach stuff, and how to use fractionally angled roads in order to make a bit of a gritty kind of network maybe. And here you can see some ideas about how to use terraforming. And for those of you who are new to terraforming in SimCity, I used Shift 1 to get the smallest terraform tool, and then I just do single clicks, because if you hold it down it goes up real fast, because it still counts as a shift mode, which means that the effect of your terraforming is doubled, but because it's because you typed in a 1, it has a very small circle, and the circle is so small that it fits within a little bit of a coordinate block, I guess you could call it. I don't know what the official name for those is, which means that it only affects one coordinate node, and it's based on the because when you rotate the camera, it's, for instance, if you have like this rotation, it might be the bottom left one, but when you rotate it becomes a different one. You just have to test that out. Just find an open space, click once and see which corner changes in height, but that way you can actually very precisely change the heights just by doing the single clicks. And sometimes a single click can be a bit longer than the other single click, so it's still a bit random. And yeah, the way I try to do the terraforming with that is to look at the grid lines and try to make them smooth. So over here I saw a bunch of very jaggedy grid lines, so I tried to make them smooth in one direction and then look at the other direction, and then just, yeah, maybe just look at both of them at the same time. Maybe that's the better idea. But as you can see here, some of those ground textures start to change. There's like some sandy stuff, and there's like some flowery meadow stuff. Looks pretty cool too. I think that if you want to have a bit of a interesting hill, then you try to get a nice mix of those textures. So over there I had a bit of a sandy kind of cliffy kind of thing with some meadowy flowers, and yeah, I really liked how that turned out. And then I decided, because I built a little neighborhood of small homes, and I think I talked about what my plans were for that part, and yeah, my plans weren't to do a small neighborhood or a little neighborhood with small homes. My plans were skyscraper kind of stuff, and well, I'm not gonna be growing the skyscrapers this episode, because I guess the whole city or even region isn't ready to. Well, I'm talking about skyscrapers, and I mean that in a relative sense to the height of the city. I mean, yeah, when I say skyscraper, that building that I showed off in the Intermezzo, that would fall under the category of the buildings that I'm talking about then. So here I'm trying to make this a little bit more smooth. I think it looks very crisp. Gonna be doing some more terraforming around here. I did some shops there, and then at first I did some shops there, but then I thought, let's do just a bit of a smooth end of the cliff kind of thingy. I don't know if that makes sense. But then I saw this and I thought, oh, there's a low part there. So I decided to make a bit of a dry riverbed. It still needs some decorations, of course, in order to convince anyone of being a dry riverbed, but yeah, I'm just doing the terraforming right now. I don't know why I jumped into terraforming. I just started, and at one point I just kept going, and every time I saw something that I thought that needs some terraforming, I just started to do some terraforming. Yeah, that hospital and school look a bit nicer without all those cliffs looming over them. And here I'm trying to connect the power without using the power line stuff, because I think those look a bit ugly. Although maybe in a mountainous area like this there might be some power lines going across, I don't know. Yeah, I guess there would be some of those American small kind of power lines next to roads, maybe. I don't know, the wooden poles with like 4 wires or whatever, but I don't have a mod for that or whatever, so I decided to just try to use some zoning in order to connect everything. And then I realized, well, I already knew that I changed the plan of what that area was supposed to be, and at some point, because I'm just trying all kinds of things to connect it, and at some point I just decide that it's time to just change the plan, and to just, yeah, I don't know why I'm forecasting like this. I think it was just a major part of the build where I haven't really done a big destructive kind of thing like that yet, where I just destroyed a bit of work. Maybe I have, I don't know. No, I don't think, though it hasn't grown yet, so it's not really a big deal. So I'm just trying to connect those, but I don't want to just plop commercial all over the nice little hilly cliff kind of stuff that I made, and they were just out of reach. So at this point I tried to first, I wanted to just extend that little neighborhood with another diagonal there, but at one point I derped out yeah, I started terraforming, which dirt out the roads, and I couldn't get them to look normal again, and then they changed the terrain, and at this point I thought, yeah, let's just make something easier. Why am I doing diagonals on slopes and stuff like that? That's just painful to make. So over here I'm just planning out some 5x5s. Decided to do a little bit of a different one over there, so I'm doing this 5x5s next to each other over here and spaced out by one over here with some decided to scooch them over by one, so I have two space, because if you only leave one space then you can't really terraform. Though the downside of this all is that two squares is like 32 meters, and maybe that's just a bit weird to have like a gap of 32 meters in a populated area like this. I don't know. No, I don't think it's that weird, especially near busy roads and stuff like that. Between residential and roads, yeah, I think it makes kind of sense. Over here I'm puzzling how to do a little bit of parking lots, and to have like this red sandstone texture over there. And I decided to just go for a 3-long parking lot, because that lets me put down the SAM transition thingy. And yeah, the SAM thing I built over there changed the slope, so I redid the slope and just put the SAM thingy on the bottom, and that worked out fine. I don't know if me talking about what I did is really interesting, I don't know. Here I want to make a bit of a hill. I don't know, I thought maybe a random hill would be cool. I think it's okay. Need some plants and stuff, but I'll do some plants and stuff in the next episode, I think. Or maybe the episode after that, or maybe just in between episodes. I don't know. Not sure yet. Yeah, so now everything's got power over there, but it needs water, and the water was a one-off from being perfectly aligned with the edge of the map, so I had to do a little bit of a scooch over, because I did want to make sure that I didn't accidentally derp out some edge buildings. And here I'm just growing it, and yeah, nothing epic grew, so there's that. I don't know. I think I just need a lot more small buildings before I can start to see epic stuff, because the small buildings should then take up the lower growth stages and then enable the higher growth stages to grow. I don't know. You need like low, and there's like 1 to 8, right? And low density is like 1 to 3, and then medium density is 4, 5, 6, I think, and high density is like 6, 7, 8 or something like that. And you need to fulfill, I'm not sure if it works like that, but I think you need to a certain degree fulfill the lower growth stages before you can get a higher growth stage one. But I don't really want to talk about growth stages. I'm just trying to memorize it for myself though. Yeah, over here I'm placing down some bus stops, because I noticed I forgot to place bus stops. So I decided to just sprinkle some bus stops around, make sure everybody's got bus access, even these little houses on the hill. And yeah, I think that's a pretty decent result. The change in the slopes of the cliffs and stuff. These final shots might be a bit too fast, but whatever. I want to yeah, thank you guys for watching. I think this has been a pretty nice build. It took me a long time to get it to where it is. I hope you liked the video. I hope you like this little bit of a night shot at the end, but most of you are already gone, probably, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, see you guys next time.